blackberry season, baby. Right now in all of the hedgerows, you will find some of the most juiciest, sweetest blackberries ever for free. So I recommend going out and picking some, whether you're going to put them on your porridge or whatever. Today though, obviously I'm in the Welsh countryside. We're going to be cooking outside over a fire, and I want to do a notorious dessert that is challenging enough inside a kitchen. I'm going to be attempting to make a tarte tatin on an open fire. So this notorious and challenging to make dessert, tarte tatin, was created at the Hotel Tatin in the south of Paris in 1880 by accident. The hotel was run by two sisters. Stephanie Tatin, who did most of the cooking, was overworked one day, and she was making a traditional apple pie when she found that she'd over caramelized the apples in the butter and sugar. Smelling the caramel burning and not wanting to let her guests down, she tried to rescue the pie by placing the pastry base on top of the pan of apples and quickly finishing off the cooking by putting the whole dish into the oven. After cooking, she turned out the upside down tart and served it to her guests and was surprised by how much they loved it. And that was how the tarte tatin was born. It can be made with so many different fruits and vegetables too. I recently put a recipe in my Christmas cookbook for a shallot tarte tatin that is the most amazing savoury pie. And whilst the tart is cooking, I'm going to make one of my favourite drinks, a blackberry mojito. Let's see if we can do all this. I love a challenge. Let's go. Jeez, let's cook. Jeez, that was amazing. What a crew and a group of friends we have. That was beautiful. Something about the fire, the view, and that sound. Now my cooking's got to live up to that. The first thing we need to make is our pastry. I am actually going to make it from scratch outside, but you can get ready-made, pre-rolled pastry from the supermarkets these days that happens to be vegan. I'm going to mix together some flour with some ice cold cubed vegan butter, pinch of salt and a little bit of sugar, and I'm going to work that together with my hands to make a breadcrumb-like consistency. Then I'll bring it all together with a splash of milk. Once you've formed your dough into a ball, give it a knead on your work surface, then place it into the fridge to rest and cool. I'll only be able to get away with this shirt and these glasses if I can pull this tarte tatin off. But the real reason I got the glass on is because the smoke is so strong in my eyes. The filling is the next thing. We've done the pastry, we're letting that rest. I'm going to be adding some apples to the tarte tatin, so I'm going to peel and just cut them into some nice chunks. When you've got a lot of apples to chop and prepare, it's worth getting them into a little bowl with some water and some lemon juice to stop them going brown. Top tip. So our blackberries have been soaking now. I'm going to drain away that water. So we're going to be using a lot of these for the tarte tatin, but also some for the mojito too. And they're so beautiful. I like that there's a variety. It's like a pick and mix of blackberries. You've got some sour ones, you've got some sweet ones, you've got some in between, but they all just burst and explode this beautiful juice. They're amazing. I'm going to use a non-stick pan. Like you would at home, you would just get this preheated over a medium heat. I'm going to get some vegan butter in there and some sugar. I'm going to let that caramelize. Then we'll add our apple and our blackberries. Then I'll roll out my pastry, get it on top, and then I have to try and come up with a way of creating an oven outside. I'm going to add some star anise and some ground nutmeg. It's time to roll out the pastry. To make it easier, I always like to roll out onto greaseproof paper. We just need to roll our pastry out to around 4 mil thick and then cut it into a circle and turn it out onto our apples and blackberries. I don't mind if this pastry isn't perfect. If we have any bits that we need to tuck in, we can just tuck them in. After all, we're outside. A bit more sugar on top. That's going to melt nicely and help stick the pastry to this fruit, and a little ground cinnamon. All right, it's time to get the pastry on top. I'm quite nervous for this. So this is why the greaseproof paper does make it a little easier. Lay it on. Oh, I could have done that a bit better. We're going to move it over. Yes. And we're going to just try and tuck the sides in. You will get some leakage. Now the blackberries are going to release a lot of juice, so I do expect it to be really, really moist, this. I'm going to prick some holes in here, and then my oven technique is to get a pan on top and to load coals on top of this. I'm wearing the most outrageous shirt and glasses. If I can't pull this off, then I look like a right donut. So guys, my nerves are not steady right now, because if this doesn't work, I've got egg on my face, or just egg on my face, or tofu scramble on my face. To calm my nerves, I'm going to make a blackberry and mint mojito with coconut sugar. Never made one of these before, I've only had them out, so I'm going to give it a go. I love a mojito, it's probably my favourite cocktail. I don't drink often, but I do love it. So what I'm going to do first, into a big jug, is muddle, I know that's the term that cocktail makers use, some limes with some mint and a few blackberries. Oh, it hit me in the eye. I like mojitos quite sweet, so I add a lot of coconut sugar. Mint, limes, sugar, one of my favourite combinations here. Oh, it just smells of summer, smells of holidays. Mojitos are the best cocktail. Let's get some blackberries in there too. I'm only going to put a few of these in because I actually want these to be quite chunky in the cocktail. Let's mash this up too. It wouldn't be a mojito without some good quality white rum. I'm going to get that in, and also some soda water. Woo! All right, let's give this a little taste before we serve. That's a pretty good mojito, but I need it a little bit sweeter. This, you need a good bit of sugar. Who's up for a mojito? Huh? I shouldn't have lit that, should I? A few blackberries in the glass to garnish. After all, this is my blackberry mojito. Let's get this served up. So unfortunately, Ollie's driving, so he can't have any. That's one each from me, Tom and Marcus. Should we give it a taste, boys? Tom, come and cheers with me. So here's to the tart tatin on a campfire working. To the tart tatin.
Ah, that's good.
Beautiful. Could drink pints and pints of that, but that's not good. I'll just be having the one. London Marathon coming up. Marcus, that one's for you.
Nice one, brother.
Perfect. Right guys, it's time to see if this worked and unveil the campfire tart tatin. Ah! We did it! The pastry's cooked. It's golden and crisp. What the hell? Let's just hope that this turns out okay. Flipping heck. That oven technique actually works. It's super important, guys, that you have a cloth around your arm and on the pan just in case any of that hot caramel gets out. So the plate's gonna go on top now. We'll say goodbye to the pastry because that's the last time we're gonna see it. All right, guys, here it goes. Oh my God. He did it! He did it! Look at that! Oh my God, he did it. We could have just put it in the oven inside the kitchen, but no, we had to try and do it outside, and we did it. A small fraction is burnt, but a huge majority is caramelized to perfection. That's just part and parcel of cooking over a bloody fire when you're trying to make a tarte tatin. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna cover over the slightly burnt bits with some fresh blackberries and some mint and some icing sugar. I just hope it tastes as good as it looks. It's time to cut and serve. Here it goes. Oh, did you hear the sound of that pastry? Look at that perfect slice too. Look at that crumbly pastry as well. This is actually perfectly cooked. It's unbelievable. I'm really happy with myself that I've been able to get away with wearing this shirt and these glasses at the same time because I did it. This is maybe the first ever, nah, it can't be the first ever, but for me anyway, the first time I've ever made a campfire tarte tatin. I'm gonna taste it first. I don't know which one's the biggest, but I'm trying to find it. Anyway, let's tuck in. Now this would be great with some vegan cream or something like that, but honestly, I know we're not gonna need it. Let's taste it on its own. Oh my God. I know I said this a few times, but this is just beaten every time I've ever said it before. The best mouthful of food I have ever had. It's like candied, caramelized, sweet goodness with the most beautiful, crisp and crumbly short crust pastry. Wow. Tommy, come and taste this. Oh. This isn't going to be like nothing you've tried before.
That's saying a lot.
The pastry with
that looks insane, man. Wow.
You know?
How have you done that on a fire? That is a jam tart times 1,000. Wow. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Well done.
I'm quite emotional right now. That's one of the nicest things I've ever had to eat, I promise you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, please subscribe, please share them. Now you can just do this in your home kitchen. I'll share the recipe for a conventional kitchen tarte tatin. Exactly the same recipe, just the details of how to cook it at home. So please visit my website for that recipe. All the new merch is on there. Thank you again for watching. Pick some blackberries. I'll catch you soon.